Welcome to Looking For. Today, I'm taking you to a very explosive video. Buildings, bridges, stadiums, or even nuclear power plants, the demolition of these huge constructions is always a spectacular event. In this video, we will contemplate together 7 really impressive demolitions by explosives, and we will also see how they are prepared, because such explosions are carefully controlled in order to avoid any disaster. Let's start with the world record for the tallest building ever demolished with explosives. The impressive Mina Plaza complex in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. Located on the port of Mina Zaid, a construction site of 4 towers, the tallest of which was 165 meters, was stopped in 2014. After 6 years of being abandoned, the government decided to demolish them, in accordance with a renovation plan aiming at redeveloping this area to transform it into a new tourist, commercial and residential destination. A radius of 1,100 meters around the building was established as an exclusion area before the implosion. To limit the risk of debris projection, each explosive-laden element was wrapped with geotextiles and wire mesh. This spectacular demolition was a real success. Even more impressive now, an entire area of 15 buildings destroyed in less than a minute. These sensational footages were filmed on August 27, 2021 in the city of Kunming in eastern China, where the real estate crisis is raging. Many construction sites are stopped and never restarted, and there are nearly 93 abandoned in this same city. The real estate project of this building complex dates back to 2004. It was taken over in 2011 and cost nearly $130 million. The former developer went broke and construction was halted due to lack of funds. Never occupied, the buildings were destroyed in only 45 seconds. 5 tons of explosives will make disappear the buildings in a heavy smoke. Now, we're going to Germany, in the outskirts of the city of Philipsburg, where the 2 chimneys of a nuclear power plant have collapsed. Built in the 1970s, the Philipsburg power plant suffered several breakdowns and incidents between 2001 and 2006. After that, the first reactor was shut down in 2011 after the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan. Following the objective of leaving nuclear power driven by the energy transition that Germany is undertaking, it is the second reactor that will finally be shut down in 2019. 1 year later, on May 14, 2020, the 2 cooling towers of the power plant will disappear permanently from the Philipsburg landscape. This impressive demolition is the result of 1,100 dynamite-filled holes drilled into the chimneys. Before the event, no schedule had been communicated in order to carefully avoid the arrival of curious people on the site. The demolition of the plant was applauded by Greenpeace, which welcomes a step towards the exit of nuclear power in Germany. If abandoned buildings sometimes wait for years before being destroyed, bridges know more quickly the fate of the explosion. This is what happened to the Marble Falls Bridge, also known as US 281. Main crossing of the Colorado River in the city of Marble Falls in Texas, it suffered a very unexpected end. Built in 1936, in the early 2000s, it was too old and too narrow to support the growing number of vehicles. To make room for a new structure more adapted to the uses of its time, this almost century-old bridge was demolished in 2013 thanks to a series of explosives placed on the pillars of the building. It's under the astonished eyes of a crowd of spectators that the bridge will crash into the Colorado. And because we're lucky, the destruction of the bridge was even filmed at 300 frames per second to offer us this splendid spectacle in slow motion. Now, let's go back to 1998, when the demolition of the tallest building of its time took place in Detroit, Michigan, USA. Since 1911, the Hudson's department store has stood proudly in downtown Detroit at a height of 134 meters. but in the 1990s, the flagship store of the Hudson firm must leave its place to a new skyscraper. It would be demolished on October 24, 1998 at 5:47 p.m. The day of the implosion, 20,000 people had gathered to attend the event. The department store collapsed, leaving behind a huge pile of debris 18 meters high. However, at the time, demolitions of this kind were not as carefully prepared as they are today, and the collapse of the building caused a great deal of damage to the city's residents. In particular, a huge cloud of debris covered downtown Detroit and shattered the windows of many buildings on Woodward Avenue. A little more spotty this time, I propose you now to go and see the destruction of a stadium. Formerly located in Irving, Texas, the American Soccer Stadium in the western suburbs of Dallas was inaugurated on October 24, 1971. With a capacity of 66,000 seats, it has had an eventful life, littered with sports and cultural events of all kinds. But the famous stadium of the television series Walker Texas Ranger will finally be demolished by implosion on April 11, 2010 in only 25 seconds. In the American culture, controlled demolitions are often staged. They constitute real shows which always attract many spectators. Thus, the city of Irving had organized a competition a year before to designate the person who should inaugurate the demolition of the stadium. Finally, it's Casey Rogers who will be drawn. The lucky 11-year-old winner will turn the key to cause the demolition of the stadium. A video was even filmed in the heart of the implosion, and the images are particularly impressive. Anyway, if you like this video, please feel free to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Always so sensational, let's now look at the ocean tower that stood in South Padre Island in Texas. A tower of 115 meters high, whose construction was interrupted in May 2008 when cracks formed in the support columns of the building. Repairs were too costly and the building was deemed unsafe in its current state, leading to a demolition program announced in September 2009. Before the implosion, all materials that could be recycled or resold were removed. At 9 a.m. on December 13, 2009, the 50,000-ton building imploded to the delight of thrill seekers, many of whom had come for the occasion. I let you discover by yourself these impressive videos. Goodbye.